like to welcome you to our third session today of this Leading Entrepreneurs of the World Conference 2022. And I'm delighted to welcome Josh Garellek. He is the co-founder and CEO of Arctic Leaf, which provides CRO and UX-focused design and development services for custom web applications and e-commerce stores. Josh has been quoted as saying, "Sometimes life is about risking it all for a dream nobody can see but you," which I absolutely love. Speaking to us on what they didn't tell you about building a seven-figure brand in e-commerce, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Josh Garellek.
Thank you, Alicia. Thank you so much for your time. I'm going to go ahead and attempt to share my screen without it breaking on me. All right. So again, as Alicia said, my name is Josh Garellek. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Arctic Leaf, which is a digital design agency focusing on mid-market to enterprise e-commerce brands. And I'm here to talk to you today about the secrets of building, or what they don't tell you about building a seven-figure e-commerce brand. So first things first is you need a product or a service, right? Very simple. So usually the best product and services that come from entrepreneurs are usually what they're solving a problem. So as an example, I'm an individual who has ADHD. I think most of the people have that, right? So as an example, I'm working on a new product that I'm working on, a nootropic product that I'm potentially going to bring to market, all around how you can help cognitive health and allow you to focus, right? So again, first things first, needing a product or a service to be able to bring to market, something that you're passionate about, something that you're not going to get bored about, and something that you're excited to work on a regular basis. So what you need to do, first things first, I've talked about this before, is having three pillars. The three pillars are brand awareness, the store experience, and the retention and loyalty. And again, just something that will make a note, anyone can start a business, right? Anyone can bring a product to market, and anyone can really support themselves in being an entrepreneur and a founder. So again, my three pillars: brand awareness, store experience, and retention and loyalty. So let's kind of dig into that, unpack it. And there's a couple other things that I'll bring on after the fact around, things behind the scenes that people don't really think about on a regular basis. So the first things first is media buying, right? You need to have customers. You need to have people that are going to come to your store on a regular basis, see what you're offering, right? How do you bring people to your store? So first of all, I'm a big proponent of pre-selling. A lot of people don't like to pre-sell. I like to pre-sell. The reason, the benefit of pre-selling is it gives you a really, really great idea and understanding of how your product is going to work in the market, right? How many products you need to go to market with. It gives you, if you're bringing like a nootropic product or something that requires manufacturing, gives you a really good understanding and availabilities as far as like what you need as far as minimum volumes, things like that, right? Influencer marketing, right? Getting out there, talking to people, getting them to support your brand, sending them free product on a regular basis. There's tons of influencers out there, whether it's someone with a 2,000 person following or someone with a 20,000 person following. Again, if you have a great product, just being out there, talking to them, and again, that's going to give you that what's called product validation, right? So again, getting those check boxes. Did my product solve a problem in the market? Is this something that people are actually interested? Are they excited about it? And then you're getting actual real world feedback, right? Something that I think founders get a little bit jaded with sometimes is that they're so close to their products and they can't actually see what the customers are gonna say, right? So obviously, you as the founder or the individual bringing the product to market, you're excited about it, you're passionate, solving a problem that you're having. But what you need is, like I said, product validation, and that is going to only kind of come from your customers and people who are actually going to use it on a regular basis. So again, media buying, you can start a business, seven-figure brand, even if you start with $10 a day in an ad spend. Why that's important is understands what's called your CPA, your cost per acquisition, right? How much does it actually cost to get a customer? And then you have your formulas. If you know your average order value is X and it costs you to acquire a customer, then you have your delta and you're making X or you're making the Y, right? So again, bringing customers to your platform in any ways that you possibly can, product validation, influencer marketing, and then again, pre-selling. I love, like I said, to pre-sell, it gives you so much insight into like what's happening, and then it gives you an understanding of like your minimums, right? Store experience. So this is where a customer or a potential buyer is going to land on your store. And this is where everything, kind of all the magic happens, right? This is that you have that first 5 seconds of, does the site operate? Is it easy to navigate? Are you telling the brand story correctly? Does the buyer journey make sense, right? So it all, again, starts from how you position your product as soon as someone is landing on your store. It's pretty amazing. You can do a lot of stuff out there right now. So you can either be super professional, you can be a little bit on the more interesting and weird side. So, I mean, take, for example, Cards Against Humanity, right? Like a bunch of years ago, they were literally selling horse shit in a bag and they told you not to buy it. And what did people do? They went ahead and they bought horse shit in a bag. And it's unbelievable, right? So it really, this is where, you know, being a founder and having that excitement and like being to kind of tell your story, be authentic, be real. People want that. If you look at TikTok right now, why it's blowing up? It's because people are authentic and they're showing their real selves, not like what you see on Instagram. It's like everything is all butterflies and rainbows. So really pick that for yourself, brand story, what that makes sense for you. You can have fun with it and you can really like let your personality and creativity come out. So, and that obviously affects your buyer journey, right? So when a buyer lands on it, making sure you have a really good user experience. There are best practices to user experience in e-commerce. Some of the resources you can find, you can go to baymard.com. So my agency, as an example, Arctic Leaf, we have a handful of individuals who have been certified as UX professionals. There's only about 150 people in the world that have actually completed the certification. So again, great resource. They tell you pretty much, they take 400 of the best e-commerce stores. They tell you what did well, what did not do well, and what you can or should change. So lots of really, really great resources out there for you to really work on your user experience and make sure that that buying journey is really solid, right? I'm gonna take a little drink of water. I drink 4 liters of water a day, by the way. So, so then we get into some personalization, right? If you're selling a product, you know, whatever it is, call it a, you know, a supplement shake or whatever it is, where personalization comes in is basically attaching different products to an already existing product, right? So it's identifying, understanding, and recognizing what a customer is already buying, and then positioning. And that ties into merchandising and displaying other products or related products to your customers. So we've all been through an e-commerce shopping experience. We all understand that when you're on a product page or a PDP, what you're going to see is that as you scroll down to the bottom, you're going to see related products. So those related products are either someone just picked them out of the hat, but there's a lot of really great softwares out there that will actually do this kind of personalization approach, saying that if these buyers buy this, they generally buy these products as well. So what that is an upsell, and you're personalizing that buying experience and giving those customers exactly what they're looking for, so that they have the best buying experience. You know, this was a lot easier before all the iOS changes and Google Analytics and all GA4 and all this other stuff about first-party data. But there are still solutions that can address your personalization and merchandising on your store experience. So again, we have the media buying, that's pillar 1, where you bring customers to your store. That's a whole separate solution. You got to keep focus on that. Then you have your store experience, really great buyer journey, merchandising, telling your story, have fun with it, be creative, and really be personable, right? Then we get into the retention side, right? What is retention marketing? So retention is email marketing, loyalty programs, referrals, customer reviews, and social proof. So this is where at the bottom of the funnel, you've already acquired a customer. And now what you're doing is you're working to retain them as a customer going forward. So getting them to come back on a regular basis to continue that shopping experience or to continue buying for your brands. So you have email marketing, right? I'm a big proponent. I use Klaviyo. We're an elite Klaviyo partner. Great ESP, ties directly into most platforms, and it sets up all of your different flows and automations. So if someone clicks on a product and they don't check out, they can do a browse abandonment flow. If they put a product in a cart and then they don't check out, you can do abandoned cart flows. And then you can do all these different things like win back campaigns, birthdays, VIP flows. Really gives you that ability to really personalize and make the customer feel excited and happy, and showing that you actually care about them, right? So you can use email marketing as kind of your go-to, as your starting point, and then you have a lot of it kind of ties in and using it as email marketing as that retention or that engine, sorry. So where the rest comes in, loyalty programs, right? So a lot of companies out there will come out with points, right? If you're selling a certain amount of products, if it's a consumable, and I'll touch on why I really like consumables in a minute. But if you have a consumable product and you get people to come back on a regular basis, you can give them points. So if you buy 10 times, right, you get the 10th or the 11th order for free or free shipping and things like that, right? So you're giving them the ability to use points, show their loyalty, and then potentially upsell them into additional orders, right? Then you tie into customer reviews. Excuse me. So customer reviews, why is that important? Well, if you went to a web store or you went to an e-commerce store and you saw all these products and you didn't have a single review, you don't know if people actually like the product or if they bought it, right? So you see there's tons and tons of different services out there that will do review programs or custom reviews. Most platforms offer it natively within their solution, but there are other ways that you can build other solutions, tie that directly into your email marketing. So after 7 days or 30 days of someone buying, like let's say a CBD gummy drop or something like that, hey, by the way, how do you like the product? You want to give it a review, and they can do that right inside your email platform, right? So these are all things that you have to think about when you're starting to build that brand, and anyone can do it and anyone can get theirs. And there's a ton of solutions out there, right? So what is once you get customer reviews, now you tie into referral programs and then the social proof, right? So referral programs gives you that ability to say, hey, refer a friend. The network marketing space basically are the kings of this, right? The 3 for free program. Go out and get 3 customers and get your product for free, right? So when I built a network marketing company, one of the things I did was I did a 3 for free program where I said, if you got 3 customers, we would take the average order value of those customers and apply that in an actual cash component, right? So that's great. Now, if you run your numbers, your AOV is high enough, and you know that your cost per acquisition is low enough, you can easily do things like that on a regular basis. So referral programs are great. It's, again, 92% of people buy from their friend, like from word of mouth marketing. So these are great things that you should encompass into your 7-figure brand. And then the social proof, right? We have Instagram. I talked a little bit about TikTok. There are widgets now that you can actually pull user-generated content and Instagram right into your platform and display that on a regular basis. So as the customer is going through their buying journey, they're constantly seeing, hey, wait a second, like there's actually quite a few people that are buying this product and talking about it on social media. It's like, I want to be there. The FOMO, right? So go out and get some of that FOMO, because FOMO is great in a lot of capacities, and then they want to be involved in that social proof, right? So again, 3 pillars: media buying, bringing that customers to the platform. That's going to require, 1 level of effort. The store experience, that's going to have the next level of effort, making sure that buying journey is solid and that you've taken your time to understand your customers' needs and wants and personalize the approach. And then the retention side, once you've acquired that customer, making sure you're doing everything you can to bring that customer back and continue getting them to be that loyal customer on a regular basis. I think BMW does this phenomenally, and this was years ago when I went to Adweek when I was in university. The CMO gets up on stage and says, we put ads on Nickelodeon, right, on the Disney Channel and all that kind of stuff to 5- and 6-year-olds. Now, yes, there's a little conflict of interest there, but basically what they're doing is they're essentially introducing their brand at a really, really early age. And then when they get old enough, they're going to say, you know what, I really want to buy a BMW, right? So they're starting really, really early. So not really relevant to e-commerce brands, but again, it talks about pre-selling, right? So making sure that you're getting your product front and center, talking about it on a regular basis. So I'm big on quotes. So when you say it's marketing, when you say it's marketing, when you say your customer is saying it's social proof, right? So we talked about all the front of house stuff, bringing customers, buying experience, and then you have the actual retention side. So what they don't talk about is kind of the back of house, right? Selecting the right platform, shipping and fulfillment, the really boring crap in taxes, customer service, right? That is huge. Customer service makes all the difference. If you have a great customer service experience, you're likely going to win back a customer going forward, right? And then obviously the payment processing. There's lots of different options, right? So selecting the right platform. We're a big partner for BigCommerce and Shopify. Have lots of great apps, lots of great tools. Very easy to use, easy to get started. $29 a month takes care of all of your different compliance. Payment processing, super easy to get set up with Stripe. They have fulfillment, things like ShipStation. You can work with like different 3PLs. So basically what I'm talking about here is that there's a lot of solutions out there to make your life really, really easy, but there are things you need to think about as an entrepreneur and as someone who's trying to build a 7-figure brand. Taxes. I don't really like taxes. I don't think anyone really likes taxes, but there are solutions. Someone like Outlier, TaxJar, which is just acquired by Stripe. They'll basically plug right into your e-commerce platform and then facilitate and handle all of your taxes right for you. And then the customer service, right? There's lots of customer service tools. We've all seen those little widgets right on the bottom of the screen. Like, hey, we're here to help. Something I actually really recently saw is now there's videos. So if you click the little widget on the bottom right-hand screen, you actually get a little welcome message from a customer service individual saying, hi, my name is Josh. I'm here to help you. Please let me know if there's anything I can support you with. Again, trying to be someone who is very, very front and center and saying, hey, we actually really, really care about your customer journey. So now we get to dealing with global events, right? So e-commerce saw a huge boom over the last couple of years, right? COVID, everyone got locked down. All these different brands that we saw that weren't necessarily doing as much volume, all of a sudden started to fly off the shelves. So why I bring this up is when you're starting to think through your products and services, trying to think through like, okay, right, we know where we're at in the economy, you know where things are potentially going. Not to be a doomsday person, but realistically, we're heading in towards a recession. So again, as you're starting your brand, thinking about what are the brands what are the products that people are going to need on a regular basis, right? Could it be soaps? It could be bath bombs, luxury products. So I personally think kind of that mid to luxury brands like the $800 leather handbags for people who don't go into offices anymore. I think those are the industries that are going to have a harder time, right? But things like nutrition and supplements, and fun fact about the network marketing, they actually start booming inside of a recession because everyone's trying to look for supplemental incomes. So when you think about it, right? So think about what products could I be able to acquire at a regularly cheap price? Is it going to be affected by supply chains? Where am I buying it from? Trying to be recession proof, right? And then adapting to market trends. And then as an entrepreneur, being comfortable with being uncomfortable. It's a grind. It's you're gonna have your ups and downs. It's not all butterflies or rainbows, but it's a fun ride for sure, and definitely something that's worth it in the end. All right, so your role in building a 7-figure brand. First of all, you are the biggest ambassador. Sales, sales, sales. If anyone has heard me talk before, or anyone heard me speak before, this is something I used to shy away from was sales. I'm like, I'll deal with all the other stuff. As I developed into my career and as I moved further up the ladder and I started my own company, I recognized that sales, in my opinion, and people will argue with me, is the bloodline of a company, right? You can have the best engine in the world. You can have a Ferrari, you can have a Lamborghini, you can have a Maserati, but if you don't have gas, the car doesn't run, right? Same thing with a Tesla. If you don't have electricity, you don't have a charge, the car doesn't run, right? So you are your brand. You are your brand ambassador, right? So sales, sales, sales. Making sure that you're getting out there, talking to people, connecting with people who are doing similar things, and asking for advice, right? I gave a talk a little while ago, kind of being like a generalist, right? Being a jack of all trades, master of none. I still fully believe this as an entrepreneur, as someone who's starting, especially in the e-commerce space. If you're trying to get things going, you're going to wear a lot of different hats, right? We talked about media buying, we talked about on-site experience, we talked about retention, we talked back of house operational components. So you're going to need to have a lot of information and a lot of knowledge in a lot of different areas. So don't be afraid of being a jack of all trades. I think it's a superpower, especially with someone, you know, who's ADHD and things like that. You know, there's a lot of people out there that talk about the benefits of all of that. So, so something that I truly believe that you know, wearing a lot of hats and then surrounding yourself with really, really smart people to tell you what to do. So I truly believe that is a really great piece of advice. And then last point here is don't burn bridges, right? In business, it's easy to, you know, see the shiny new object or things like that. You know, be human, be real, recognize that people are investing in time and effort into you, and just make sure that you're not doing anything to burn bridges. That's in my opinion. So know what it takes. So first of all, anyone can start a business. Like I said, you can do media buying for $10 a day. You can find products out there that will do drop shipping. In addition, I'm working on a book with someone right now, and we've been able to put the whole book together for under $1,000. So basically, you're taking all of your content, all of your information, putting it into a format. You can hire people on Fiverr. You can format it. You can do print on demand with Printly or one of these other services. So, and again, they all tie directly into an e-commerce store. So really, like, the excuse of I don't know how to start it, or I don't want to start a company. Anyone can start a 7-figure brand if you're willing to put the time and effort in, right? Be prepared to work a 10, 14, 12-hour day. That could be whether it's, you know, you're working full-time on the business or you're working your day job and you're doing a side hustle, right? So you're doing this stuff after hours on the weekends, things like that. That's okay, but just be prepared. And again, anyone can do it, right? You have the tools. There are the solutions out there. There are people out there that want to help. You have great educational content like this event that people are telling you and giving you advice. Follow that advice. It's all great information. And then again, like I said, anyone can start a 7-figure brand. Like I said, wearing lots of hats, being a jack of all trades, you're going to be tackling lots of different things. Some days operational stuff, some days sales and marketing, some days HR, things like that, right? But again, you know, scheduling and prioritizing is going to be super important and key for you. Partnerships, I've grown a lot. I grew my company quite a bit through partnerships. So 50% of organizations use partnerships to acquire new customers. That is huge, right? So partnerships means lots of things, right? It could be connecting with a technology partner, working with drop shippers, working with individuals who are affiliates, right? So these are all different forms of partnerships, and they really are massive in building a company and building a brand. You know, my company makes hundreds of thousands of dollars a year just from a partnership, just our partnership relationships. So again, that all ties into, you know, don't burning bridges, you know, being cordial, being nice, being friendly, and being able to support you know, all of your different organizations. So how do you make $1 million? I'm sure we've all seen this chart over the years, right? There's a lot of different ways you can slice it and dice it. You know, you can get 5,000 people to buy a $200 product, or you can get 300 people to buy a $3,333 product, right? So I just love this chart because it really kind of it takes like this larger number, which is $1 million, which in my opinion actually isn't a lot of money these days anymore. So, but to a lot of people it is. And so, but what it does is it distills it down into a format that someone can actually make it manageable, saying like, wait a second, like 5,000 people buying a $200 product, like, yeah, I can do that, right? It makes it more palpable, right? So just something to think about when you're kind of like starting that company and starting that brand. You know, think about this, right? Like, where do you want to fit? What's your product market fit? Where do you fit in the industry? And how do you make it work? All right, last but not least, or coming up to the last but not least, so raising money versus bootstrapping. So I'm a big proponent of bootstrapping. Do it as long as you possibly can. And then if you are doing a raise or doing some friends and family round, please make sure you know what you're getting yourself into. I know this from a personal experience. So it has a lot of benefits, things like that. But at the same time, you know, just understand that, you know, raising money has its pros and cons, and as you scale, those challenges are going to potentially scale as well.